in downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us for our weather blog tonight. If you got questions, we've got the chat function open on YouTube and the chat function open on Twitch. If you'd like to make any comments, say hi, ask a question, anything like that, please feel free to drop by and let us know a little bit more about where you're from and what's the weather's like, where you happen to be, and we'll do our best to give you an idea as to what is going on here, especially in the course of the next couple of days. So for right now, let's go ahead and get going. Why don't we start off with our Almanac page and see where we wound up with. Temperatures today was very pleasant. Lots of sunshine and blue skies. Numbers back into the mid to upper 70s today, 2 degrees above or below our regular high temperature of 79 degrees. 94 is our record high that hasn't been broken since 1952. 36, the record low temperature back in 1968, and a low of 50 degrees this morning. So overall, pretty much exactly where we should be for this time of the year. On rainfall amounts, nothing today, but this weekend's rainfall did a good job of pushing us up to where we're about 2.5 inches over for the month and an inch plus over for the year. We've been very dry for 2025 so far. This is where we see a little bit of a surplus, and for right now, that is decently rare to where we are not seeing anything in the way of a major drought situation, but we do see, again, a little bit more rainfall helps to make certain that the foliage around the area is not so dry, so we're not looking at too much in the way of wildfire danger, so that does begin to help us out by just a little bit out there. Thanks to News 12 viewer Lisa Sellers from the Rocky Face area for a review of our weather window picture of the day. Some mackerel sky type clouds from the Buzzard's Roost area. I'm still learning where all these places are, so it's taking me a while to figure out where to go for some great photography, but thank you very much for our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, let's see them. Go ahead and send them in to us by email, pictures@wdef.com. You can also go to our social media pages, drop them in the comments section, or you can go to wdef.com/photos, drop yours off, and see what everybody else has been submitting for the Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. Let's take a look around the area real quick and see what it feels like out there. Temperatures, again, not bad for tonight. Downtown Chattanooga from the Bailey's Heating and Air camera. Quiet, dry, beautiful evening. A lot of folks out and about for a bit of a stroll tonight. Not too many people out and about down on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and the rest of the area. Not much of a breeze either, but we will be seeing more potential of that wind picking up in the next several days. Not exactly seeing gusty conditions, but we'll be noticing again a little bit more breeze out there. Plainview outdoor advertising camera, 153-64 highway overpass looking off to the southwest. We're starting to get a few more clouds out across the area, and probably we'll be seeing again more potential of rain overnight, but for right now we are dry. News 12 studios, I-24 traffic through downtown moving along nicely. Dry conditions. You can see the lights of Signal Mountain off in the distance from the News 12 studio camera at 33rd and Broad Street in downtown Chattanooga, or I guess south of downtown. Traffic light to moderate and moving along pretty well from the area of the 2475 interchange just south of the Chattanooga Airport on the Tomahawk crane and rigging camera. If you'd like to see any of our cameras, head to the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network page. That's at wdef.com/weather if you'd like to see that on there, and that's where you can also get to a lot of other places as well. One more stop on the camera trail. Let's take a look and see what's going on the Chattanooga Zoo Spirits in the Wild camera. I-24 on Missionary Ridge showing traffic light and moving along well. Holtzclaw Avenue traffic, not that much, and not too many folks out and about for right now, although a few folks here and there. And temperatures at this time, quiet and dry and comfortable back in the mid-60s. Winds are calm at the airport, decently dry-ish starting to see humidity kind of coalesce as the temperatures drop and the heat of the day goes away. So we're seeing some amounts of dew point temperatures relatively close, but we will also see some much more moisture-rich air coming our way into the course of the next couple of days. Temperatures just before we hit the top of the hour, we are back into around the mid to upper 50s to the lower 60s, so it's pleasant, it's dry, and decently cool. Higher elevations, we've got lower to mid 50s over western North Carolina, lower 60s into the Cumberland Plateau, and then high 50s to lower to mid 60s, a few upper 60s showing up. Langston, Alabama, you're at 68. Tryon, Lafayette, Calhoun, and Lyerly, Georgia, all at 66. 59 in Cleveland, 64 again being reported from the Chattanooga airport. So beautiful conditions out there overall. What we have is our new storm system that is starting to get a little bit closer to us into the next couple of days. If my maps would advance, that would help. Thank you very much. High pressure doing just what its name implies, pushing down toward the surface and keeping things very stable. We have a couple of fronts trying to make their way our direction, but they're surrounded by high pressure on all sides, so that's kind of creating this blocking mechanism in the atmosphere to where not much is moving on through. Well, then we have, again, this storm system right off the Gulf of Mexico, and that's drawing in moisture from the Gulf at this time, which is showing, again, more life here. This is a lot stronger than what it was yesterday. So this is going to be heading our way down to the south and stirring up some more showers and thunderstorms because of this, and that's where our next rainfall situation is coming from. The rain this evening has already reached western Alabama, so we will be seeing more chances of rain heading our way overnight. That's going just to the west of Birmingham. So the rain making its way into dry air, it's got to overpower that dry air, because otherwise, if the rain falls into that dry air, it just evaporates on the way down. So this moisture-rich air localized here over the delta, that is going to be giving us the potential of more rain and thunder into tomorrow. But again, not for tonight. So there's really not a lot going on from what we can see immediately. But in the morning, you're going to want to take that umbrella with you just to be on the safe side. Even if it isn't raining in the morning, you're going to need some help out there for that. For the rest of the evening, Island Cove, very calm and pleasant. A beautiful night out there. We did have a beautiful sunset, just bracketed by a few clouds, so we did not see too much to worry about in the way of heavy amounts of rainfall at any point in time. But we are going to be seeing, again, throughout the rest of the evening, more clouds making their way our direction, and that is going to give us, again, the potential for less in the way of very warm weather over the next few days. So what we're going to be seeing right into the next day or two is going to be an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, that's where we may see the potential of a marginal threat of anything involving severe weather. It's a marginal threat. That's a 1 out of 5, so that's not much, but again, it definitely needs to be paid attention to. And then for the rest of the week, first of all, temperatures, not much going on here. Not seeing a great deal of heat yet. Remember, according to the Almanac, we can get into the 90s at this time of the year very easily. Low temperatures, cool in the morning, not frosty, so temperatures are going to be staying relatively stable, up and down by a little bit, but otherwise not bad. And then chances of showers and thunderstorms will be sticking around. Wednesday and Thursday, showers, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, early Monday, and then Monday and Tuesday, that is where we see the potential of some more rumbles of thunder coming on through. But the only chance of anything involving severe weather is this marginal threat coming up on Thursday. So there's really not that much going on, but outdoor activities, we're getting into graduation season, we're getting into field day for the end of school activities, out and about for whatever you've got planned. Definitely want to make certain you've got a plan B indoors, again, just to be on the safe side, because you may wind up needing that at some point. So definitely want to make certain you're taking care of that. Chances of rainfall again into tomorrow, not going to be great for outdoor activity. We'll be seeing temperatures quite mild, back in the lower 70s. UV index with the clouds and the rain blocking out the sunshine. We're not going to be getting too much to worry about in the way of lots of UV radiation. On the mild side, so again, not really too much showing up there. It also goes pretty much without saying, but we're going to say it anyway, that if you're going out for a round of golf, you really got to watch what's going on. If you hear thunder or see lightning and you're out there on a great big putting green or anywhere on the golf course and you are the tallest thing around, maybe the whole flag right there marker, anytime you see lightning out there, if you see it, if you hear it, if you get an alert on your phone saying lightning is within a certain radius, time to wrap it up and get off the golf course. Please remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. It may sound like a silly catchphrase, but it really, if it helps people stay alive, I am definitely all for it. So hopefully, again, everybody stays safe out there as we go into the next couple of days. So please keep that in mind. All right, tonight's weather poll question from roofquotes.com. The President of the United States has the power to establish national marine sanctuary monument areas, but by what power under Congress is he authorized to do this? The Antiquities Act of 1906, the Water Reservoir Development Act, or the Department of the Interior Appropriations Act? Equally split across all three right there, but the answer was the Antiquities Act of 1906. So thanks to everybody for voting in our roofquotes.com poll. Thanks a lot for everybody for paying attention on that. We'll have a new poll going up at midnight tonight, so thanks to everybody for paying attention there. Wish we had some better news where it came to things like climate change, because as of right now, it's not getting any better, and this is one very good example of the fact that a tiny country in the middle of the Persian Gulf, it's springtime, remember, and we should not be seeing temperatures like this for at least another month or two, so it's getting hotter earlier and staying hotter longer. In the country of Oman, right there at the tip of the Strait of Hormuz, Qasab in the downtown district in Oman, their low temperature overnight last night was their record high minimum temperature, which means the low temperature last night in Oman was 102.3 degrees Fahrenheit, 39.1 Celsius, for those of you who are more broadly worldly minded on the temperatures right there. What does this signify? It's really important to take a look at, because there might have been another one set overnight tonight where, again, it's nighttime for us. It's now daytime over in that area of the world, about 9 hours ahead of us. So if there was another record set over there, this world record for the hottest night so far in 2025 might only stand for a night or two, but it does show that we are continuing to see escalating temperatures all around the planet, and this is just one good example. Again, just consider this for a second. That was the low temperature. That's how cool it got overnight. This is one good example as to why this area of the world could become uninhabitable in portions around that area for, again, temperatures that will go around 50 degrees Celsius. That is just absolutely unfit for human living, and that's what we're looking at when we're coming around the area and talking about climate change. If you want to know more, this comes to us from the account @extreme temps. They're on Twitter/X, but since Twitter/X is a dumpster fire these days, I would recommend looking them up on Blue Sky, which is where I got this information from. So definitely want to find out more about how we can help our planet out on there. Now, talking about this over the next couple of days, the tropical outlook, it's important to take a look at this because we are less than 1 month away. We are 25 days away from the beginning of Atlantic hurricane season. That's for the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean. And then the Pacific hurricane season starts on May the 15th. It starts a little bit earlier over here thanks to heat levels and thanks to patterns of development. We'll start seeing more development areas here first than anything else, but into the Atlantic, it's going to be very important to keep an eye on what is going on and why and how and where and all of those questions out there. Because if you are going to take a vacation to Florida, the Keys, out into around Hispaniola, the East Coast, the Gulf Coast, and you have the potential of, again, storms forming and heading this direction, you don't want to be heading toward a place where everybody else is going to be heading out of, because that storm could be making landfall very soon. Now, it's rare for these storms on the Pacific to hit this area of Mexico and the West Coast, but they can happen. Usually, again, with the development of the atmospheric currents and the heat of the ocean, usually you will see the storms here dissipate or get knocked down several notches because of the cold current that runs along the coast. Definitely the opposite here in the Gulf and the Caribbean and the Atlantic. The loop current that runs through the Gulf of Mexico supplies a ton of moisture-rich, basically very hot air, and that is what helps to supercharge some of these storms that can cause a lot of problems. But here the currents cool things off, and that absorbs energy away from the storm. Now, why are we taking a look at this? Again, because hurricane season is starting, so you, if you are traveling, need to watch what is going on with this area of, well, any coastline could be affected by this. And that's why the National Hurricane Center has started again for this year, Hurricane Preparedness Week 2025. It's a week filled with topics for the public to take a look at and to make certain that you know what and why and how these storms work. There's tons of topics coming up throughout the rest of the week. We'll be bringing those to you on News 12. The third day topic for Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so it's number 3. Topic today is understanding the forecast information and about how the government is not lying to you when it comes to hurricane forecasts. It is not trying to hurt anybody. It's trying to get as many people as informed as possible and to make certain as many people stay as safe as possible on there. Paying attention to these forecasts can really help you understand what's going on. And again, relying on the forecast from the Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service office, from NOAA in general, can help you stay safe and can help you understand more about what's going on. Knowing the difference between the alerts, the watches, the warnings, the advisories, anything like that can really help you understand how serious these situations are and how deadly they can be. So this is something that really needs to be paid attention to, focusing on potential impacts regardless of storm size or category, and then also knowing that deadly hazards can occur well outside of the forecast zone. The worst possibility of anything out there is going to be the possibility of storm surge, to where you have the level beach area, which again sort of like the zero marker for anything involving floods. Picture that storm moving over that, pulling up this ginormous wall of water, which works its way over the beach to a tune of 10, 20, 30 feet. That's a wall of water. That is something that will have debris and wildlife swimming around in it. It'll be dangerous enough as it is. If you're stuck inside a building, you're going to get washed away or you might drown. Your chances of survival are very, very slim. So understanding the dangers about all this is what Hurricane Preparedness Week is all about. So please consider looking at this website and getting information on this. Now, I know, again, that we do not live in a hurricane-prone area, so to speak. We get leftover storms, but we do not get direct hits from anything involving these storms that pass on through. We can get, again, the after effects here, but we're not on the coastline. I realize that, so why am I telling everybody about this? Because you might be traveling to a beach or location that is going to be close enough to be affected by one of these monster storms. You might have people that live in the path of these storms that need to understand what's going on. And maybe you know people who have never paid attention to the forecast. Now more than ever, with climate change causing bigger, more powerful, and longer-lived storms, is exactly the time to start paying attention to why this information is so critically important. So please keep an eye on this situation. Again, we start hurricane season in the Atlantic on June 1st, and that's about 3 weeks away. So we're almost there for another hurricane season, and this one expected to be another busy one. So we will be watching that. But in the meantime, if you have friends or loved ones who live along the coast who need to know this information, go ahead and point out this website to them and urge them to stay safe, to follow more information, again, about these topics that NOAA is pointing out. And again, this is done by NOAA. No other private forecasting firm can do what NOAA does. So a certain project that's trying to gut NOAA from the inside out by using a puppeteer South African billionaire, this is unfair to treat NOAA that direction, and especially all the people who work for NOAA. So this is very important to know that NOAA does study climate change, and that's important because that's part of their charter, because that helps everybody stay safer. Demolishing a established weather studying facility within the federal government just to get rid of the words climate change because you don't like the idea of people talking about the words climate change because you consider it to be a hoax, that's very short-sighted of you. And this certain project really needs to reverse course and see the damage that they are causing out there. This is not fooling around. The less weather information we have to make forecasts with, the less accurate we become, the more people are in danger, and that is what the project and the South African billionaire are doing to this country. This is why you need to call your congresspeople and say, enough is enough. This is not something that we want to have happen to our National Weather Service. A lot of the damage has been done, but it's not too late to reverse course and get a little bit more common sense back into things. So if you haven't contacted your representative, say, enough with Doge, enough with the South African billionaire, enough with all this absolutely ridiculous backwards thinking project with a certain year on it. Enough is enough already. This is messing around with the safety of the citizens of the United States and our ability to forecast weather, to help forecast weather around the rest of the world. So now's the time to consider, again, what is going on in regards to weather and why and how this type of situation is handled. So please consider, again, what is going on here, and keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you advised on what's going on. Another good way that NOAA helps keep us safe is to help keep us informed and educated, and the Weather 101 program from the National Weather Service in Nashville is in its final weeks. The final topics have been announced. They'll be coming up between now and Wednesday, May the 21st. These are seminars, online webinars that you can take totally free. You have to register, which is cool, but again, totally free. One of the best examples of how your tax dollars and my tax dollars are put in use out there. NOAA has sadly had to tell their employees that when they are out and about servicing the radar, servicing technology for the National Weather Service, that they need to be on alert because a certain militarized faction of a militia of some sort is on the opinion that radar is a weapon and it is being used to hurt people. Nothing could be further from the truth. Radar is radio detecting and ranging. It's in the name. There is nothing offensive. There is nothing weapon-like characteristic about radar. And if you have proof that it is, bring it forward and let's see it. But in the meantime, we don't have any proof whatsoever that the National Weather Service has now or ever has decided to turn radar into a weapon. It's just not true. Whatever that is that they believe on that, wherever they got it from, it's what they're saying is absolutely a lie, and it is not anything that, again, is that will help the public out. It will help to increase confusion. But stating what radar is, it's a tool to help detect storms and help keep people safe. That's it. That's all. That's what it is. So again, if you'd like to know more about what radar is, heck, when you tune in for this, ask the meteorologists and the personnel at National Weather Service Nashville, is weather radar a weapon? And has the National Weather Service somehow, nobody can point to how, weaponizing a radar? It's not possible. It's scientifically not possible to weaponize a radar to turn people's brains into jelly, to affect wildlife, to drive whales on shore, to cause people to start smoking, to cause people to stop smoking. The same thing applies to the conspiracy theory about chemtrails. Some people say they exist. If you talk about the contrails, the condensation trails that come out of the airplanes, those exist. And yes, they are made of chemicals, but in order to change somebody's biology, change somebody's intelligence level, anything of that nature, there is no such thing as chemtrails. Likewise, radar, again, is not anything having to do with a weaponized technology. It's not true. It never has been. And I feel sorry for the people who actually believe the conspiracy theories that say, yes, it is. You're being lied to. The radar is a weapon, and we can't tell you exactly how, but we know that it is. So make certain you tell everybody that it's a weapon, so you're more fearful of the situation. That's wrong in so many respects. It's not even funny. But if you'd like to know more about radar, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, weather.gov/OHX. If you'd like to know a little bit more about what's going on there. All right. What else do we have to talk about here? I believe we have one more thing, if I can find it. Anybody from Barron's radar is working, I would love to know more about how to color code these individual cells on here. Getting up and about in the morning, there will be the potential of more showers and thunderstorms, dawn patrol onwards. So if you're taking the pupper for a walk, be ready again for the potential of some showers and thunderstorms out there. Rain gear if necessary. If there's lightning around, might have to take the dog out later when the rainfall quits for a little bit. But please remember, when thunder roars, go indoors and stay there. Thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Gina Webb from Soddy Daisy for a review of Pupper Cody, enjoying the flat top mountains. That's our pupper picture of the day for our dog walking forecast. You can submit your pictures at wdef.com/dogwalk. Been on for just about 30 minutes. We've been doing pretty good for the last couple of nights, so nice to be able to see everybody here. And again, if you have any questions, we'd love to see anything about what you're taking a look at or what kind of questions you may have. All you have to do is, again, go to my website, my section of the website, email address at aonek@wdef.com. You can reach our website at the bottom of the screen at wdef.com/weather if you'd like to see anything more or, again, have any questions that we can answer on there. Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast bright and early on Wednesday morning, and I'll have more coming up again tomorrow night, but definitely want to pack the rain gear for Wednesday as we see that potential sticking around for the next several days from what it looks like for right now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This has been Weather Overtime for Tuesday night, the 6th of May. Thanks for joining us. Stick around for more with News 12 on News 12 at 11. And again, Chip's on with Daybreak in the morning. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again on Wednesday.